You die, you start over. You die again. You love it. Welcome to Slay the Spire 2, a game that will absolutely destroy you at first, make you feel like a genius 5 runs later, and somehow keep you glued to your screen for hours on end. If you're brand new to this kind of game, or you just downloaded it and have absolutely no idea what's going on, you're in the right place. This is your complete beginner's guide to Slay the Spire 2. We're covering everything: how the game works, how to actually win, and a breakdown of all 5 characters so you know exactly who to play. Let's climb the spire. Slay the Spire 2 is a roguelike deck builder. 2 fancy words, let me break that down real quick. Roguelike means every time you play, the map is randomly generated, the cards you're offered are different, and if you die, and you will die, you start from scratch. No save scumming. No, just load my last save. When you're dead, you're dead. But here's the thing, and this is key. Dying is how you learn. Every run teaches you something new. Deck builder means you start with a tiny basic deck of cards and you add to it as you go. Every fight you win, you get to pick a new card. Over time, you build this powerful synergistic machine of a deck that hopefully carries you to victory. Here's what a typical fight looks like. You and your enemy take turns. At the start of your turn, you draw 5 cards from your deck and get 3 energy to spend. You play cards by spending that energy. Attack cards deal damage. Skill cards give you block, which absorbs incoming hits. Power cards give you permanent buffs for the rest of the fight. One huge advantage you have, you can always see what the enemy is going to do next. That little icon above every enemy's head shows their intent. They're telegraphing their moves. If they're about to swing for 20 damage, maybe prioritize throwing up some block this turn. When your turn ends, all unspent block disappears and the enemy takes their turn. Rinse and repeat until one of you is dead. Between fights, you navigate a branching map through 3 acts. Each node on the map is a different type of encounter. Normal fight, your bread and butter. Win, pick a card. Elite fight, harder enemies but they drop a relic. More on those in a sec. Campfire, rest to heal or upgrade a card. Merchant or shop, spend your gold on cards, relics, and potions. Unknown room could be an event, a fight, a treasure, a gamble worth taking. Boss, end of each act, beat them to move on. Relics are passive items that give you bonuses for the entire run. Things like gain 1 strength every time you play a power card, or heal 6 HP after every fight. These compound over time and can completely transform your strategy. Potions are single-use items you can pop in combat for instant effects, extra damage, extra block, drawing more cards. New players often hoard them. Don't. Use your potions. A potion used at the right moment can save an entire run. To sum it up, the core loop is simple. You fight, get a reward, improve your deck, decide on where to go next on the map, and you fight again. Now let's talk about the game modes. When you boot up the game, you'll see 3 different ways to play. Let's break them down so you're not confused. The standard mode is your default experience. Every time you hit New Run in standard, the game generates a brand new randomly shuffled wrap just for you. Different card rewards, different relics, different enemy encounters. No 2 runs are ever the same. This is where you'll spend 90% of your time as a new player, and honestly, most of your time as a veteran too. No pressure, no leaderboard, just you versus the Spire. Perfect for learning. Daily runs unlock after you play a run with every character, and then complete a run by beating Act 3. And this one's special. Every single player in the world gets the exact same run on the same day. Same map, same character, same starting conditions. Daily runs force you into a preset character selection and ascension level, but come with 3 modifiers that can dramatically change how you play. These modifiers are randomly selected each day and can do wild things, like replacing your entire starting deck with a drafted set of cards, or making every enemy hit harder. Your score gets posted to a public leaderboard, so it's basically the game's way of letting you compete with the whole world. Don't stress about this mode early on. Finish a few standard runs first, then check it out. Custom mode unlocks after 3 standard victories, and it's basically a sandbox where you set the rules before the run begins. It lets you choose any number of modifiers for your run. Customize the seed, pick your character, and set your ascension level beyond what you've unlocked. Want to start with a fully drafted deck instead of basic strike and defend cards? Done. Want to crank up the difficulty with extra modifiers? Go for it. Want to recreate a specific seed you saw a streamer play? You can do that too. The catch, playing in custom mode disables achievements and leaderboards, so it won't count toward your official progression, but it's an incredible way to experiment with weird deck ideas, practice tricky boss fights, or just mess around with broken synergies without any stakes. For now, stick to standard. You'll naturally unlock the others as you get better. Oh yeah, did I mention you can bring friends? Slay the Spire 2 has a brand new co-op mode where up to 4 players can tackle the spire together. This is a first for the series. The original game was solo only, and it's a genuinely fun way to experience the game once you're comfortable with the basics. Here's the quick version of how it works. Each player picks their own character, manages their own deck, health, and resources during combat, and makes their own card and relic choices. You're not sharing a deck. Everyone's running their own build, but you are fighting the same enemies together, and you can apply healing, buffs, and debuffs to your allies too, opening up cross-character synergies you'd never see in solo play. A couple of things to know going in. Enemy health scales up with the number of players in the party, so don't expect it to be a pushover just because there's more of you. Each character also gets a suite of multiplayer exclusive cards that specifically synergize with teammates, so it's not just the same game with extra bodies. One important heads up on saves: all players must be present from the very start. You can't add someone in midway through a campaign, and the host owns the save file. Also, multiplayer has its own separate progression, so your ascension levels won't carry over from solo play. As of this video, there is no matchmaking system, so you'll need friends on your list to play with. That's an early access limitation and will likely be addressed down the line. For now, if you're brand new, learn the ropes solo first, but once you've got a few runs under your belt, roping in some friends for a co-op climb is an absolute blast.
All right, now that you know what you're doing, let's talk about how to do it well. These are the core principles that separate beginners from players who actually see Act 3.
Tip number 1. Don't force a deck. Let it build itself.
This is the biggest mistake new players make. You come in wanting to build a specific deck, a poison build, a big strength deck, and you force every card pick towards that vision, even when the game isn't giving you what you need. Here's the smarter approach. In Act 1, take the good cards that help you survive. Area damage, solid block, cards that work right now. Then, as you start to see a pattern in what you're being offered, that's when you lean into a specific strategy. The game never guarantees you the cards you want. Adapt. The best players are flexible with their strategies.
Tip number 2. Fight elites. Seriously, do it.
I know elites look scary. They hit harder, they have more HP, they have special mechanics, but skipping them is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Why? Relics. Every elite you kill drops a relic, and relics are arguably more valuable than any single card you'll ever pick. They compound across the whole run and completely shape your strategy. A weaker deck going into the boss because you avoided elites is way worse than taking some damage fighting them. Think of it as an investment.
Tip number 3. Keep your deck small and focused.
It's tempting to pick every card that looks powerful. Resist that urge. Every card you add dilutes your deck, meaning your best cards show up less often in combat. A focused deck of 15 to 20 cards that consistently does one thing well will beat a 40-card deck full of cool cards that never shows up when you need it. When in doubt, skip the card. Skipping is always a valid choice.
Tip number 4. Use the shop to trim the fat.
At the shop, there's an option to remove cards from your deck for gold. This is huge. Your starter deck has basic strike and defend cards that quickly lose value as your deck gets more powerful. Removing those weak filler cards means your good cards come up more often. Prioritize card removal early. It's one of the best investments you can make.
Tip number 5. Campfires. Upgrade, don't just heal.
When you reach a campfire, you can rest, recover 30% of your max HP, or smith, upgrade a card permanently. Obviously, if you're critically low on health, heal, but upgrading a card you use every fight pays off for the entire rest of the run. So if you're reasonably healthy, upgrade something important and not make resting your default. Tip number 6, read enemy intent every turn. Every enemy tells you what they're going to do before they do it. There's literally an icon above their head. Use the info to your advantage. Sword icon means they're attacking. Block up. Shield icon means they're defending. This is your chance to deal damage or use some buffs. Special icon means some unique effect. Read it before you play your cards. Playing reactively around what the enemy is actually about to do is one of the fastest ways to take less damage and win more fights. Tip number 7, HP is a resource. Spend it wisely. Your health isn't a score, it's a resource. Sometimes taking a hit is the right call if it means you save a potion for later or you get to play an extra card. The run only ends at 0 HP, so every point above that is available to spend. Don't be so precious about staying at full health that you make suboptimal decisions everywhere else. And tip number 8, accept that you will lose a lot. This is a hard game. You're going to die in Act 1. You're going to have a great run and to one bad elite fight. That's normal. Every time you lose, you know something you didn't before. An enemy's attack pattern, a card synergy that doesn't work, a relic you should have prioritized. That knowledge stacks up, and slowly the Spire starts to feel a lot more conquerable.
Okay, let's meet the crew. There are 5 playable characters in Slay the Spire 2, 3 returning legends from the original game, and 2 brand new faces. They unlock in a chain. You start with the Ironclad, and each character you run unlocks the next. You don't even need to win, just start a run. The Ironclad is your starter character, and genuinely the best one to learn the game with. He has the highest HP in the roster at 80, and his starting relic, Burning Blood, heals you for 6 HP after every single combat. Small mistakes don't instantly kill your run. His identity is all about strength, buffing your attack damage, exhaust synergies, cards that disappear after being played, and block conversion. There's even a build where you stack massive block and then convert it directly into damage. He's blunt, brutal, and forgiving, the perfect starting point. The Silent is a ninja. She's got the lowest HP at 70, but she makes up for it with speed, combos, and a crazy high damage ceiling. She's got 3 main archetypes. Poison, stack a damage over time debuff that ticks down enemy HP every turn. Patient, but devastating. Shivs, spam tons of tiny zero-cost daggers. With the right relics, you're dumping 15 to 20 of them in a single turn. Sly, this is the new STS2 mechanic. Cards with Sly play for free the moment you discard them. Combined with her insane card draw, you can cycle through your entire deck in one turn. She rewards precision, a great choice once you've got a run or 2 under your belt. The Regent is one of the 2 brand new characters, and he's unique because he runs on 2 resources simultaneously. First, there's Energy, same as everyone else, resets every turn. Then there's Stars, a special secondary resource that doesn't reset. You accumulate stars over time and can stockpile up to 24. Many of his most powerful cards cost both energy and stars to play. His second trick is Forge. The first time each fight you play a Forge card, it creates his signature weapon, the Sovereign Blade, which you can then upgrade into a fight-ending powerhouse. He's more complex, but incredibly powerful once it clicks. High risk, high reward. The Necrobinder is the other new character, and she is wild. She has the lowest HP in the game at 66, but every single combat, she summons her companion, Osti, a giant skeletal hand that acts as a physical shield, soaking up damage for you after your block breaks. Her 2 main mechanics are Doom, a debuff you stack on enemies. When Doom reaches the enemy's remaining HP, they die at the end of their next turn. It's like a death sentence countdown. And Graveyard or Exhaust synergy. For most characters, exhausted cards are gone. For Necrobinder, the exhaust pile is fuel.
She retrieves exhausted cards, gains power from burning them, and treats discarded resources as ammunition. She's the most mechanically unique character in the game, absolutely wild to pilot once you understand her. Last but absolutely not least, the Defect, the fan-favorite robot from the original game, and he is also my personal favorite. He plays completely differently from everyone else, because his power comes from orbs. You channel orbs into slots around you. Each type does something different. Lightning zaps enemies, frost builds block, dark accumulates damage that erupts later, plasma generates extra energy, and glass amplifies your next attack. When a new orb is channeled and all slots are full, the oldest one evokes, triggering a big effect. He's the most mechanically complex of the returning cast. Take your time with him. The payoff is massive.
And that's your foundation for Slay the Spire 2. Here's the honest truth though. No guide can fully prepare you for what this game is going to throw at you. The real teacher is the game itself. Every run you take, even the ones that end embarrassingly fast in Act 1, teaches you something. An enemy pattern you didn't know, a card synergy you hadn't considered, a relic that changes everything. The Ironclad is your first stop. Get comfortable with the core loop, learn to read enemy intent, keep your deck lean, and don't skip those elites. Then branch out. Try the Silent, try the Regent, explore what the game has to offer. And remember, dying is part of the game. The players who get good at Slay the Spire 2 aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who learn from it the fastest. Once you beat the game with a character, you unlock Ascension Mode, 20 levels of increasing difficulty for when you want to truly test your skills. So there's always something to push toward. If this guide helped you out, smash that like button. It really does help the channel grow. Subscribe if you want more Slay the Spire 2 content. I'll be dropping character deep dives, deck build guides, and more very soon. Drop a comment below and tell me, which character is your favorite? What's been your best run so far? I'd love to hear it. Good luck out there. The Spire is waiting.